For most, winning the lottery can be a dream come true, a once-in-a-lifetime event. Just think about it. Millions and millions and millions of dollars at your fingertips, and all you have to do is buy a ticket to win. Oh yeah, and also be extremely lucky. However, for these lucky lottery winners on this list, it was the complete opposite. It brought out the ugly side of family and friends. We're talking betrayals, backstabbing, and straight-up foul play. Stick around and watch until the end. Trust us, you're not going to want to miss out on these real-life lottery winner stories, and how their family and friends turned on them as soon as they found out about their winnings.
I bought the ticket, and now he's trying to lie and say I said split. I said split with the 50-50, not with no JCAs. I'm taking him to court. I'm getting my lawyer.
Argueta, so-called family. In October of 2020, a Texas woman named Argueta claimed a $1 million prize that was bought in New York. It was a scratcher ticket. Oh yeah, life sure was great that day. The only problem that she had was that, well, the ticket didn't belong to her. It belonged to her cousin. She was entrusted by her cousin to claim the ticket so that he could remain anonymous. She was supposed to claim the $1 million winning ticket and then get a cut of $50,000 for helping out. However, Iris had a different idea. Greed took over and she completely betrayed her cousin. She told her cousin that instead of winning $1 million, the cash prize was only $20,000. But not only that, in order to be believed of her lie, she went as far as forging fake documents to convince her cousin that the prize was only $20,000 instead of $1 million. She only handed him $13,436 in an envelope and told him that the rest was kept for taxes. At this point, Argueta thought that she was a master manipulator, making off with the lion's share of $1 million. However, reality caught up to her when her cousin later saw a press release on the NYS lottery website that indicated that Iris claimed a $1 million prize and took home $537,440 after taxes. At first, Iris denied having any additional money and threatened to take legal action if he continued to contact her. But eventually, the tables turned when she was prosecuted instead. She ended up turning herself in to the Glove Cove Police Department. Luckily, they were able to recover $317,825. And on November 23rd of 2021, she was due back in court, facing 5 to 15 years if convicted. No new information has been made available since then, but one could only guess that it didn't go too well for her. Urush Khan, foul play. The morning of July 20th, 2012, Imtiaz Khan received a phone call that no one ever wishes to receive. The news that he received was that his sibling, Urush Khan, had suffered a heart attack. Imtiaz quickly hurried over, but by the time that he arrived, his brother had already passed. Typically, one would presume that a heart attack would be a natural way to go, as a lot of people die of natural causes. A blood sample was taken for basic toxicology testing, and after running tests for opiates, alcohol, and carbon monoxide poisoning, the results came back negative. Urush Khan's death was declared a natural one, due to hardening of the arteries. However, Imtiaz Khan wasn't so convinced. He was furious. He immediately claimed that his brother's heart attack was no accident, and that in fact was murder. You see, Urush Khan had won $1 million prize just a few weeks earlier, off of a scratcher ticket. After relentlessly calling the authorities, they finally gave in to Imtiaz's demand for further testing, a more comprehensive test. And this time, they found cyanide. Urush Khan had a lethal amount of cyanide in his blood. About 6 months after his death, his body was dug out so that experts could perform further tests. They theorized that Urush Khan had ingested cyanide in order to prove that they needed to find traces of poison in his stomach. You see, the night before his death, his then-wife, Shaban Ansari, prepared a lamb curry dish. She argued that the dish could not have been poisoned, since she, along with her father, also had eaten the dish that same night. A search was conducted in Khan's home to see if there were any traces of cyanide. They didn't find any. The examination of Urush Khan's body was able to determine that he did have poison in his system, but because his body was not embalmed due to his Muslim background and the fact that many months had gone by, they weren't able to determine how the poison entered his body. A secondary test confirmed that Urush's arteries were 75% blocked, giving weight to the natural death theory. Since Urush did not leave a will, his family battled it out in court to see who would get what. It was his daughter and wife who ended up with everything. His daughter received a third of the prize money and a few condominiums, while his wife received the remaining 2/3 of the prize money and a dry cleaning business that Urush owned. To this day, authorities still don't have a suspect to point to as to how cyanide got into his body. We'll let you decide whether or not there was foul play here. Barb Reddick, money changes you quick. One of the worst public betrayals of all time happened in 2018. Barb Reddick and grandson Tyrone McInnes entered a Chase the Ace lottery with both names on a single ticket. And as luck would have it, their ticket was the winning ticket of the $1.2 million jackpot. A joyous day for most people. However, things quickly got nasty when Barb realized that she wasn't going to get the full cash prize on her own and instead had to split it with her nephew Tyrone. Barb claimed that his name was only added for good luck and that she only agreed to share the consolation prize, not the jackpot. They ended up going to court, and in an affidavit by Barb Reddick, she stated that she had paid for everything for Tyrone for many years, including a PlayStation, a car, his graduation suit, his bills, and even gave him $100 a month for him to spend. She goes on to state, "I wanted him to have nice things and didn't want him to have to live like a student." It's difficult to tell who was right and who was wrong, as they ended up agreeing to a new percentage split of the winnings. Barb Reddick ended up taking $850,000, while Tyrone McInnes took the remaining $350,000. Regardless, a family reunion is most likely not in the cards anytime soon. The Rossis, Karma. Thomas and Denise Rossi, a happily married couple of 25 years. A couple so close that they even shared an electric toothbrush. Most would say that's maybe a little too close, but nonetheless a sound marriage. Well, at least that's what Thomas thought. You see, one day his wife Denise, out of nowhere, demanded to divorce him, and she wanted it done in a hurry. She had divorce papers served to him at a West Hollywood shop where he developed film and shot portraits of up-and-coming actors. It was a shop that he owned. Not too long after, he unfortunately went out of business and declared bankruptcy. Thomas would later end up getting a job at a chain photo store. Life seemed as normal as it could be, but one day, a little over 2 years after the divorce, fate struck. Thomas received a letter in the mail that he was not supposed to receive. It was a letter from a company that pays lump sums to lottery winners. They wanted to sort out how the annual payments of a lottery jackpot would be paid out. But like I said, this letter was not meant for him. It was meant for his ex-wife, Denise. The letter was misdirected. After checking the dates, Thomas put 2 and 2 together. Denise had served Thomas divorce papers 11 days after winning a jackpot. She didn't win alone. She won with 6 other co-workers. The amount that belonged to her was $1.3 million. They ended up going to court over the lottery winnings, and Thomas was awarded the entire cash prize instead. All of it. Denise revealed in a deposition that she didn't tell him because she didn't want Thomas to get his hands on the money. This alone was enough to award Thomas with the lottery winnings, as she tried to commit fraud out of malice. Denise was not happy that she had been caught. She also went on to say that she didn't like that he was always broke and that she had to work. She was unhappy and was looking for a way out for quite some time. Thomas had gone through some serious financial problems after the divorce, and Denise had almost gotten away with it, and she would have if not for the letter. You know what they say, karma is next on the list. Scummy and Dummy, Bad Roommate. We go to Vacaville, California, where a man got scammed out of his winning jackpot scratcher ticket by his roommate. Now, maybe it's not the smartest thing to do when you win a jackpot to immediately tell anyone, but that's what one man did in Northern California when he won $10,000 at a supermarket. I guess these things slip your mind when you feel on top of the world. After all, it's not every day that you win a jackpot. When he finally went to redeem his winning ticket, he was shocked, as the cashier told him that his scratcher ticket was not legitimate. It turns out his scummy roommate bought the same type of scratcher ticket and forged it to look exactly like the winning ticket and pulled an old-fashioned switcheroo. His roommate went to turn in the real winning scratcher ticket just a day later. But the biggest twist in this story is that the ticket wasn't a winner for $10,000. It was actually a winning ticket for a whopping $10 million. And this is how the scummy roommate got caught. The lottery officials and police department caught on to the forgery because of this mistake and invited him to collect his grand prize. However, when he got there, the only prize he won was a free trip downtown, as he was arrested on the spot. Well, that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, be sure to check out another one of our videos. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to attract money into your life. Bye for now.